Alright, so today we'll be talking about crystal magic. So pretty simple, similar to the candle magic. It's pretty basic. It has to do with your connection or whatever have you. Except in this case, most crystals basically have their own personality already. So that's why you may be familiar with your birthstones and stuff like that. So everybody may know based on when they were born, the month, that everyone has a particular birthstone. So basically, if I can just define it, make it simple for you, crystals are magical batteries that contain and concentrate the Earth's energies. They basically attune us with the powers that created them, ourselves, the Earth, and the whole universe. So that's basically one way to look at it. Basically, every emotion that ever existed, love, hate, anger, it has been crystallized or made Christ-like. It's been crystallized into some type of rock form, if you will. So basically there's a force and power trapped within all stones. So basically we're dealing with trying to use this for magic. So transformation is basically the essence of magic. So basically we're trying to transform things in our life, basically using our mind, our subconscious mind. So basically stones help us achieve this by lending their powers and providing focal points for our own energies. So basically we already made up these energies. Sometimes we just need a focal point. So remember, I defined that as low magic. So for now in the beginning, you might need something to focus on. And then pretty soon you'll be able to just do this without candles, crystals, and whatever else you may use in your magical repertoire. Okay. So although each of us has this infinite power of the universe within ourselves, we tend to find it easier, and we are predisposed to accept support from that which is from outside of ourselves. So for instance, candles and crystals and so on and so forth. Okay. There are basically two basic energy types. So for each stone, so you're basically dealing with polarity again. You got male and female, God and goddess, hot and female. You know, Yakin and Boaz. Electric and magnetic, so on and so forth, active and inert. So you're just dealing with projective and receptive. So basically those are the two basic energy types of every stone. Alright, so you basically want to charge your stones with the projective hand. Usually it's your right hand, so whichever hand is dominant, most people are right-handed, so you want to charge your stone. So I'm going to read from this book, Cunningham's Encyclopedia, Crystal Gem of Metal Magic. So this is one of the books. Most people use the Crystal Bible. So I forgot the author, but you can just look up Crystal Bible. I prefer this one actually, Love is in the Earth, by an author named Melody, or whatever have you. So this is what it looks like. Love is in the Earth, a kaleidoscope of crystals. So I use them both. Different books, if you can afford it, you can get more than one book. But most people get the Crystal Bible. I found this one to be a little bit more better for me. And this one has some different information in it, so I like this. So you can never go wrong with encyclopedias and so on and so forth. Alright, so let's just talk about charging your stone. Alright, so before using stones in magic, they should be charged or programmed with energy. This is done simply by holding the stone in your projective hand. So I told you that's usually your right, but for lefties, it's your left. So visualize your magical need and pouring energy out from your body into the stone. So basically visualization is one of the main components, if not the most important component of magic. So in some of my later videos, I'm going to give you some visualization exercises. Alright, so visualize your magical need and pour that energy out from your body into the stone. So this energy is personal power. It's in all of us. We can move this energy from our bodies out into stones, candles, metals, and other objects to help us achieve our magical goals. Alright, this movement of this or other forms of natural energy is at the heart of magic. So that's basically how you're going to charge it. There's different ways to charge it. Not only hold it in your hand. I'm going to do a video on sex magic. You can also put it next to your genitals. There's other things you can do. You can those little things you put on your head. A lot of people sleep with on their eyes when they sleep at night. If they can't stand sleeping in light, you can also slice a little holes in it and slide some stones inside there, so you can place it on your eyelids. There's just different ways to charge it. Alright, instead of just having it in your hand, you can carry it with you at all times, so on and so forth. So just get you a book to give you more examples. I just want to give you a basic knowledge of this. Alright, so visualization because like I said, I'm going to give you some techniques in some later videos. Because if you've been trying some of the stuff I've been telling you, you probably, if you haven't been having success, it's probably because you're not really skilled at visualization. I'm a scatterbrain also, being a Gemini. I think and analyze. My mind races. All right, so one of the ways you can do is just close your eyes, see your best friend's face or favorite piece of clothing, such and such. So basically, magical or creative visualization is forming pictures of your magical need. So basically, you just want to see what hasn't become yet. So it's basically with anything I've told you, but like I said, I'm gonna give you some techniques because I've showed you things like vision boards and sigils. But if you haven't had any success, it's probably because you haven't been able to hold a visual or visualize properly. Okay, so I don't want to beat a dead horse. We'll do something later. All right. So one of the stones I want to focus on is obsidian. No pun intended, but I've become obsessed with obsidian because a couple of shows I've watched. I mentioned this in my Game of Thrones video. If you haven't seen it, that video was mainly to introduce obsidian, but really just to show you that it's different levels of angels. But if you are familiar with the show, if not, maybe you can Google it. What they use to kill the winter, the White Walkers, which are the people who come in the wintertime. This guy, he found out that he can kill them with this, stabbing them with this obsidian daggers. So let me just give you a little. This, you can't really sit in this video, but it's just a little piece shaped into a mirror. I'm gonna show you what this can be used for. Something called scrying. So I'll mention that at the end of the video, and I'll make a separate video on scrying. But this is a piece of obsidian, black obsidian, that I use. So it's shaped like a little bitty mirror. Okay, so if you go, like I said, another TV show I watch, I'm a fan of Quentin Tarantino. And it's not because he uses nigger in every video, every movie he makes, but one of the movies he made, I like dialogue in movies. He made a movie called Dusk Til Dawn, which was about vampires. Most vampire movies make you think it has something to do with a bat, so and so for being bitten by a bat originally. But really, they made a series based off the movie. It's pretty similar to the movie, but more in detail. It really shows you that the vampires are really serpents or snakes. So if you have a on demand, or if you can get it on Red, but I don't know where else you can get it. I had it on demand. I have Xfinity. I was able to watch the Dusk Til Dawn series. It's only been one season so far. Pretty good season. They talked about obsidian. The main thing in the whole the main thing in there was this knife made of obsidian. So basically, obsidian is volcanic glass. It ranges in color. It's basically a grounding stone. It connects the base of the spine to the earth. Now remember, if you see my Satan video, or Saturn, on Satan or Saturn, Saturn basically is a ground. Satan represents the base of your spine. So what you need to know is that obsidian or black obsidian is ruled by Saturn or Satan. So basically, it shields against negativity. The energies it produces are blunt answers. So when you'll get into that when you start using it as a divination tool or scrying. It protects you from physical and or emotional harm. It disperses unloving thoughts which arise from within self or directed at others. So you might have negative thought, oh, I can't stand, and you just focus on negativity. So it grounds you and blocks some of that. So like I said, it ranges in color. So I'm going to be discussing black obsidian. Black obsidian, which is ruled by Saturn or Satan. Because remember, it connects you, it's at the base of the spine. It's basically a grounding tool. So your root chakra is your grounding chakra. Remember, Saturn energy, if you remember from any of my Kabbalah Tree of Life videos, Saturn is actually Sephirah 3, and she brought that energy down to the Sephirah number 10, or emanation number 10. So although this is Earth, this is also ruled by Saturn energy, or Satan supposedly in the mythologies rule Earth. Alright, but we supposed to have dominion over all animals and Satan. So the animals really are our lower natures, and Satan is just basically that Kundalini energy, that energy. So basically, because I told you in my Satan video that's everything about our survival, and it's all about ourself in that beginning, our personal powers in the lower chakras. All right, so its element is fire, so that's that Kundalini energy. I told you if you bring it up to your forehead and not successful with it, it burns out in your third eye. So that's where you get the ashes from Ash Wednesday, and they put ashes on their forehead. They may not know it, but that's what that's really about. So it induces creativity in all endeavors. It's for protection, for peace, for grounding, for divination. So I spoke about divination. It's a such thing called scrying. I'm gonna do a video on that. SCRY. So if you want to Google it, it's basically where you get the mythology or the fairy tales about crystal balls. So it was used by the Aztecs, because that's what the Dusk Til Dawn series is about, the Aztecs. And the serpent, their serpent being is I can't pronounce it, but it starts with a Q. But you can Google Aztec serpent deities and so on and so forth. Remember, this is only in Christianity, and has the snake been revered as something bad. And everything else is about rejuvenation, because it sheds the skin, and wisdom and so on and so forth. Because that's what the snake was trying to give Eve and Adam, was the wisdom of sex or knowledge, to know. All right, to be creative, to create, to be gods. Alright, so all black stones, not just obsidian, are receptive. So they're all receptive. So feminine in nature. They receive. So they represent earth and stability. Remember I told you, earth and Saturn pretty much is the energy. Saturn energy or Satan energy is on earth. And stability. So ruled by Saturn, which is the planet of restriction. That's why it's given such a bad name. So we have restrictions here because of gravity. We can't just jump up and stay up. So there's restrictions here, and laws of gravity, law of this, law of that. Alright, so it's basically symbolic of self-control, resilience, and our quiet power. Okay. What else I want to say? So basically, you need it for grounding too. Like, you know, some people get into these things, and what they label some of us as conscious people. So you might see people get so spiritual, or they give up other things, even in religion. Oh, I just don't do secular music. I don't do this. They stop eating certain foods. They go to an extreme. You know, they join a group, now they want to wear dashikis or whatever. So you can still be a regular person. Your human life has nothing to do with this magic or spiritual life. You can still live a regular life and just be regular. Like I joined no groups. I'm not a Mason. I haven't taken any oaths. That's why I can tell you most of this stuff without breaking any oaths or being upsetting too many people. Okay. So basically, black obsidian is additionally used for gazing or scrying, and to produce sincerity in action and insight into future scenes and symptoms. So I told you about scrying. I'll do a video on that later, a separate video. I wouldn't be doing any justice to put it in this one. All right. So like I said, you can use this black obsidian if you overly focus on being too spiritual. You need balance. 'Cause I told you in my Satan video, that's all. Satan was originally a balancing force, the opposite polarity of a positive force. You need balance. All right. So you don't need hot and cold. You want balance in temperature, which can be called warm. So what you consider hot, another person might not consider hot. It might be considered cold. So neither one of you are right, and neither one of you are wrong. There's no right and wrong. Another polarity. All right. So basically in a magical ritual, basically it's just basically lava that cools so fast that the minerals contained within didn't have time to form. So it's basically a natural occurring glass. So I told you it's used by the Aztecs. You can also Google Dr. D. He came up with the whole Enochian. I'll talk about that one in a video. Enochian angels or Enochian language. He's basically was a spy hired by Queen Elizabeth I. So look up Dr. D and Enochian magic and it's a whole Enochian language. I told you to look at the Enochian alphabet when you do your sigils if you want to use the angel alphabet. Nostradamus supposedly used a black mirror or obsidian glass. You're pretty familiar with mirror on a wall. What's that? Sleeping Beauty or one of those? Who's the fairest of all? That's what they was talking about. You know, Disney was a Mason, so you know all that stuff with Mickey Mouse having a magic wand and all that. All this is about magic. So they practice magic also. And I told you these movies are meant to use mind control anyway, or magic over you and influence your thoughts. All right. So, like I said, it's basically a popular material for fashioning knives, spear points, and arrowheads. So I told you that it's known as flint with magical properties. So usually if you don't have good results scrying with quartz crystal, which is usually what crystal balls are made of, most people try obsidian, which is they say for some the blackness allows easier access to the subconscious mind. So I never used the quartz, so I've been trying to practice with the black obsidian just in general, because basically someone recommended it to me, and when I went to go get it, actually the lady at the store I go to, she had just obtained this, so it was just basically right on time that I was able to get it. And she gave it to me for little or nothing. She wasn't sure how she was gonna use it or sell it. All right. So you might run into stuff like that. Well, there's no such thing as coincidence. It's basically synchronicity. Some stuff you're gonna be looking for. It's gonna be right there for you when it's time. All right, so I just want to make a short video on crystals and connected. Like I said, the blackness, anything black is dealing with Saturn. So if you haven't looked at Saturn on my Satan video, check that out. So it basically grounds you and restricts you, but not in a bad way unless you let it be bad. All right, thank you.